Okay, I think recording has started, which is good. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to day 8. God, day 8 of the AIML for Developers Bootcamp. We are slowly coming to the end of this bootcamp. But yeah, we have 2 days left to do. That's Monday and Tuesday because we didn't have a class yesterday. So sorry about that. Um, yeah, for those of us that are yet to do our assignment, please let's do it. Somebody in the community actually reached out that I should let them submit by the end of tomorrow because most people were busy during the weekday. That's work and everything. And I have extended the submission time to 11:59 p.m. West African time tomorrow. That's on Sunday, so that you guys can have like the time to do your assignment. So if you are here to like start your assignment, please do it. If you don't have the assignment, it is in the bootcamp resource group in the community. You can pick up the assignment there and you can also see the submission link there too. Like I said, the assignment submission will be considered for certification. So make sure that you complete your assignment. I would also share a Google Sheet so that you can fill in your name, your email as you want it to appear in your certificate, your name, your email, and your phone numbers, right? You can fill it in there. So yeah, so that's it. So let me send the mic to Mr. Nehemiah so that he can actually start the class. Hi, Mr. Nehemiah, you can unmute now.
All right, thank you so much. I hope I'm audible, right? You can hear me? Hello, are you able to hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you so much, Aisha, and good afternoon to everyone. I hope it's a very, very nice evening over there. And I want us to talk about something that is quite interesting or maybe useful in tech or maybe generally in programming. Is about the packages. Especially, we'll talk about the machine learning packages because this program is mainly for machine learning. So allow me first of all to share the entire screen, and I'm going to talk about some things before we begin. So we have things called packages or modules in packages. And I want to demonstrate something. Sometimes we've been writing like we've been writing our code on notebook, and the notebooks like are split into like cells. So it is easier to manage. Sometimes you might be just writing the Python files that ends with the extension.py, like at the normal Python files. Remember, this notebook is using Python, but then at the same time is an IDE, like integrated development environment. But then sometimes you might just be writing like your normal Python files on any other code editor. And sometimes you want to have like to integrate like modules, or maybe you want to integrate codes to utilize code that was written in another file. Like instead of like rewriting things that you had already solved, what you want to do is to just reuse the solution that you had previously created or maybe implemented. So we want to talk about now the modules and the packages. And then after that, I will list for you some of the machine learning and artificial intelligence packages so that we may have a clue on what it entails. So first of all, a module, you can consider it as a code library or somewhere where you place the code and then you want to use it. Like for example, let's say you want to okay, an example for module or maybe packages is within Python, though it's a built-in. But then, for example, if you use those default function which comes within Python, like they are already implemented. So ours is just to use, for example, the print function or some methods within Python, which already are inbuilt. But then there's some packages that you'll need perhaps to import or something like that. Like they are already solution made, but then now you need to you need to just import and use it. So, and in this case, guys, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. Let me see if I can hide this thing. How do I? Okay, let me see. Give me a second. I can see if I can track this on somewhere. Yeah, that is nice. So I want us to use, okay, in this case, just to demonstrate, I'm going to use a Visual Studio Code. I'm going to use the VS Code. Allow me to just close this one. Okay, basically Visual Studio Code is also another code editor, which you can as well have, Jupyter Notebook in the inside and other, like it support many programming languages, like it's the one that I usually love, or maybe it's the ultimate or one of the best. So to get the VS Code, you can just type Visual Studio Code, download VS Code, download. Then perhaps I can share with you the link. The link you might want to download. Remember, on this program, we'll be focusing mostly with the notebook. But then to talk about the modules, I think this one will demonstrate it well. Like when I work on the VS Code, like it has the good interface for that case. Because I want to use the Python, the normal Python file, not the notebook file. Let me paste here the link. So that's the link to download the VS Code. So you can download for your operating system, and it's just an open source application. So the installation is just straightforward. The same way you usually install any other program, you can install it like that way. Like there's nothing that is somehow unique. Then once you install, and then you'll have a welcome screen. For me, I had already opened, but then you'll see something like a welcome screen, and then after it, you might want to close it, and then you will want to create a folder. I said that it's always a good thing to be organized, to organize your work, to organize your work very well. So in this case, perhaps I could create a new folder by clicking here, and then it's going to redirect me to my file explorer, and then I can just open any folder. Okay, any like I can create here a new folder, right click in somewhere, and then creating new, and then a new folder. Perhaps I can say, for example, ML packages, machine learning packages to be the folder. And then I'm going to select it so that it can open here. And I told you that we're going to talk about the modules first before we talk about the packages. Like a module first is just a single file containing like your code library. But then now the package is now like a collection of different modules, a collection of different modules, which is um, or maybe redirected in one source with an init file. It's like you have several modules, but then now you like converge them to a single file init, so that you can be able to use those files somewhere else. So within this side, for example, I can create a new folder. I want to create now um, a very simple, module. Let me call it, for example, math utils, because I want to include things to do with the mathematics. So I'm going to use a math utils. Remember the key thing here, I want you to understand how to use how to work with the modules. So here, I'm going to create here a new file called, for example, main or a utils or any other name, utils. I don't know if you're able to see my VS Code. Am I sharing the entire screen?
What do you say, Mr. Nehemiah?
Yes, yes. All right, thank you. If you're able to see. So utils.py, and then yeah, so and then so utils.py, and then here I can just create anything like even a function. Perhaps let's call it let me create a function, for example, to do some basic mathematics, for example, addition, and then I'll be passing, okay, I'll be passing some arguments there. Perhaps I'll pass here A, and then a B. And then here in the program, I'll write here return a plus b. So this is just a normal Python function, the same way we like created, okay, like the same way this should be addition. Like this is just a normal Python function that I've written here on the VS Code. But then I want to create now a new file, assuming that this is a bunch of codes or many lines of code that I have, and I just want to have one program that is going to utilize this function. So in that case, guys, I'm going to just create a new file. Perhaps I could use a notebook still. So the notebook files, I tend to the extension dot IP. Okay, so for example, let me call it main dot IPY and B for the notebook file. So IP main, okay, like extension is dot IPY and B. So that's for the notebook file. And sometimes you'll want to install the, or maybe have the extension here to install the extension. I don't know where you access extensions. Let me see. So there's somewhere extensions. I don't know which one. For extension, this debug. Actually, I think when you install VS Code, you'll have somewhere where it allows you to create the, or maybe install extension. I'm trying to find it. I don't know where it went. But then there's a panel where you can do it. You can get the extension, like an interface where you can install the extension. So I think for me, I have many things. But then for you, you can try to, okay, let me see if I can be able to. Oh yeah, it's here. It's here. This extension, when you click on it and then search for notebook or Jupyter notebook, this one. Then when you install it, you'll have the Jupyter notebook within the VS Code is an extension. And then here you can select now the kernel. The kernel is like you're trying to have the interpreter, like the Python, okay, like something that you're trying to use within this VS Code. For example, if it's Python or whatever it is, so you're going to select here within this, select kernel here. So in this case, I'm going to use Python environments. I'm going to use the Python environments, and mostly I'm going to use Python 3.12. Like this is the stable version. Remember, we talked about it. So this 3.12, the stable version that I'm going to use as the interpreter for this kernel. And then now here I'm able to do it, create new cell for the code. And yeah, so this is now just the same thing as it is on this other VS Code, which is accessed, globally, the one that we've been opening on this browser. Only that this one is embedded like within the VS Code. So now we have created what this is a file with a function addition, and then I want to like utilize the code that I had written there. So to do that, I'll need to use the import keyword. Import. Okay, let me try to zoom in. So import, and then import now the function. Import, and then the function. Okay, like I import now the function. So the function in this case it is addition. So you make sure that we're using the exact name. So we are trying to import the addition, but then you need to specify from where. So you say from the file it is utils. Utils.py. Now you don't even need to add in the extension .py. When you just say utils, like a Python is automatically going to know you're trying to okay, sorry. This is Python. There's also JavaScript. So I'm going to say like from in Python you say from. Sorry guys, I've been writing a lot of React programs. So it has its way of how you import things. But then now on a Python, you say from, you specify first of all the file from utils. Utils, which is the file, import. Yeah, import. Import now the function. In this case, it is addition. So guys, I'm sorry about that. So this is the proper way on how you import the code. You say from the file name, import import addition. I know, guys, you might have learned JavaScript, or maybe you are doing the React application. You know how you usually import those modules. But then now on Python, you begin from whatever, from the file, import the addition. Remember, it is still at the same directory. It is still at the same directory. So I'm going to just say from. But then you need to specify the folder. So because they are sharing the directories, I'm going to use dot. When you use dot, it means that you're trying it means that it is sharing the directories like a folder. Otherwise, another way you could have said from math, sorry, from math utils dot the file, then I import the function. But then now in this case, math, is it math utils? So I think this is like another way is to just specify the folder name, or you could use the dot. Dot, it means that the current directory. So they're sharing the current directory. So when it's just a dot, which means that at the current directory utils, I want us to import the addition. Now, because we have imported the function, now what we do, we can just utilize it. We can call the function by saying addition, and then you pass in what? The arguments. For example, the first parameter, it was A, then for example, that. Let me first of all see if it's going to work so that I can explain. Attempted to import a relative path with a non-parent package. Wait a second, guys. There's something that so from the current directory utils import import addition. I thought I had written this way earlier. Okay, let me run and see. Okay, guys, give me a second. I figure out the issue. So, oh, all right. So I did. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think the reason is that they are sharing the folder. Like, for example, if we are to specify the dot, like, for example, if it were in different folders, that's where you will need to specify the folder name. But then if they are sharing the same directory, just say from the file name, import the function. But then if it were different, if there are different folders, now is the one that you need to specify. You need to specify the folder name for you to be able to get the output. So you can see now I'm getting what this output. I've just written my code somewhere else, and then I'm utilizing the code like on another file, like on your main program. So you can write like a code somewhere else, and then you will be using it here as a module. So this one is going to be like your module. We say that a module. Let me write for you module, so that module is okay. Module. Module is like a library of code, or maybe code library. So we've written like here's the code, but then we're utilizing it here. We're just utilizing the code on this main program. Like instead of like having like a lot of codes, having a lot of codes on the main file, like we can write in different programs, and then it will just be importing. So I've just used a simple example, but then in your case, it could be, for example, thousands lines of code. And then you just import like a specific things. So sometimes at the moment you can see it is almost similar, or maybe we are doing some additional things like creating this function, and then at the same time we go here and import it and then run. But then in the event, for example, there are many programs that you are writing, and they don't want to congest your code. So you might write it somewhere else, and then now you just import. Now, if they share the same folder and there are no packages, what you do, you just specify the file name from the file name, import a function. From a file name, import a function. Guys, let me know if you've understood or I should repeat. Have you understood how the modules are created? Okay, yeah, let me repeat. Okay, let me in fact clear everything here. Delete this. Okay, what I'll just do. Let me just remove or maybe clear this folder. So when you install the VS Code, or maybe let me see, close folder, close, yeah, folder. Yeah, so when you install VS Code and then you open, you're going to have something similar to this, only that you might have the welcome screen, but then you'll have something a similar interface. Of course, I've tried to adjust the theme and all that to have this kind of a layout where you can just go to their preferences and then to the theme and then color, I think color theme, and then you can just select whatever color theme it is. I think by default, it should be something like, oh wait, this color is terrible. Let me see. I don't know which is the default color, but then you'll have like the default color, but then always you can go to the file and then go to the preference and then find the theme and then color theme. Then for me, I like working with this one at the dark, this one with the high contrast. So that's how you can change the theme. And also you notice that I wasn't saving my files because I've enabled the autosave feature. So when I just write my code, it's going to automatically save. Like at the moment, okay, now, so if you want to like have the autosave feature, you just go to the file, and then I make sure that this autosave is checked, like there's a tick there. You can see now there's a tick. So when it's like that, then I know that you have the autosave feature. Now to open the folder, you click first of all on this Explorer icon, and then you click here, new folder, and then you can select the folder where you had created. So if you had not created the folder, you can right click and create a new folder. For me, I had already created, so I'm going to select this folder, which is just an empty folder. I said the reason you need to create the folder is to have what is to have like to organize your work well, to organize your work very well. And then the other thing, after you've done that, you have opened the folder, you will need to create a file. Now, we've been working mostly with the notebook files. The extension has been .ipynb, but then the reason that I decided to use the VS Code is that you can work or maybe write .py files correctly. You know, this one, for example, on the notebook, here you have to do it. You have to go this other side. Then you can create what? You'll need to create a new file here, a new file, and then you change the name here .py for it to work. But then I don't want to use this way because yeah, I don't want to use this one because VS Code provides like a good interface for working with Python files. So a Python file is created with .py extension. So within this folder, ML packages that I've just created, I want to create here another folder in the inside called math, because I want to create like some mathematical operations. So you can give it any name. Perhaps let me just call it math. Folder, I'm calling it math. And then now within that folder that I've just created, I want to create what? A new file called. Like I can give it any name, but then it ends with the extension .py. Remember modules I created with the extension .py. For example, you could call it module dot or any other name .py, and make sure that it ends with .py. .py. And then another thing, because guys, we've talked more about the notebooks. The notebooks, perhaps you are familiar with how to run the notebooks. We've been talking about the notebooks most of the time. So VS Code has has an extension for the VS Code. Not VS Code, actually, the notebook, Jupyter Notebook. And to get the Jupyter Notebook, what you do, just go to the extension tab. It's here. I don't know why it will be on your end, but then you'll see something like this. If it doesn't appear, click here on this ellipse. I don't know where I clicked last time. Like when you right click on this side, when you right click, if it doesn't show up, make sure that this extension is checked. When it's checked, you'll see this one, and then search for notebook. Search for notebook or Jupyter Notebook. They mean the same. So just search for a notebook, and then it's going to bring Jupyter. So this one that is verified, it is just written Jupyter, and I think, let me see. I think it has 87 million downloads. So this one that has many downloads, that's the correct package. So just click on the install. For me, it's already installed, so that's why it is telling me uninstall. For you on your end, it could display install. Now, the reason that I want to use the notebook is just to provide like the similar interface as to what we've been having here on the browser, but then you can just write the programs directly on the terminal. On the terminal, like this terminal here, you can run it direct on the terminal. Then, because we are used to the notebook, I want to create here a new notebook file. Now, a notebook file ends with the extension .ipynb. So you're going to write, for example, main.ipynb, show that it's a notebook file, show that it's a notebook file. So it's going to open this notebook file here with this some other tabs here, or maybe this interface. Now, the other thing that you'll want to do is to select the kernel. The kernel is like what you want to use that notebook with. Remember, notebook can work with any. Mostly it is designed with like it's designed to work well with Python, but then you can as well use other things in the inside as well. Or maybe you can use the magic commands or those kind of things. So you need to select the kernel. The kernel is like an environment, or maybe what is going to use, like Python. And if it's Python, which kind of, or maybe what version of Python are you trying to use? So in this case, I'm trying to, okay. Okay, yeah. So in this case, I want to say, you just click on here on the kernel, then this other panel is going to open, then select your interpreter. So in this case, I'm going to use the base Python, and then to be my interpreter. So now I can do what I can create now a new cell for writing the code. We just click here, code. Now I want this main to be like my main program. And then on this module is when I want to write my code library. So in this case, I can have what I can have. I can get functions, for example, for arithmetic addition. I said we can use, I don't know why. Okay, addition. And then within the addition function, I can add in two arguments, perhaps A and a B. And then here we'll just say return A, this addition function, so A plus B. Just for example, let me try to create several. Let me try to create several. And then this could be subtraction. And then subtraction, it should be minus. And then this should be multiplication. Multiplication, I believe, multiplication, then this division. Division, then I'll need to change the symbols for multiplication is asterisk. So these are my code. So let's assume that there's a lot of code that I wonder. For example, in your main program, you are interested only to work with the addition. So this is like your code library, the file that is going to contain your code library. Now, this is the main program where you want to use the codes. So you can notice that we've written many, but then we could want to only import like what we want to use in our main program. So in this case, we are going to import this file and the programs in the inside. So in Python, we use the from keyword. So you have to use this from. a certain file, from a certain file. In this case, the file is going to be module, this module, and then import whatever function it is. For example, if it is addition, then it's going to bring this addition. So this first thing, okay, from is an inbuilt keyword that we use to import. And then the second one is the file name. In this case, it's my module. Uh, and then the import statement, and then I specify what you are trying to import. So in this case, we want to import the addition function. Now we had it's a function. So to call a function, you have to do what you have to use. Um, you have to use okay, the same name, addition, this case, and then you pass in if it's positional, if it is the arguments are positional, you need to specify those arguments the same way. So first one, second one, number 20, and then when you run, then you'll see now the output. So we have utilized what? This function that was written somewhere else in our main program. So on our main program, we're just trying to call the function. So we don't have like to rewrite everything in the main program. So you could have like a different files where you're writing the code and then you utilize it another place, such that you don't have to like fill in more codes on your main program. So remember, or maybe the good thing, or maybe to show that you are that organized, or you know how to code well, apart from just coding, is to organize your work well, like having modules, and then also, and then, yeah, and then utilizing like a few lines of code. Like instead of having many lines of code that you will struggle to find, you could have like a modules to be like a component, simple components. For example, want to just handle the arithmetic function, like in this case, or a math functions, and then another one could work on the some other thing, for example, some statistical task or things like that, such that it will be easier for you to manage your code. Let me know, guys, if you've understood now. Have you understood? All right, yeah. So to create the main file, we just type within your folder. You just create a file. File main, okay, could be another name, but then the extension now it should be .ipynb. Like the extension for notebook, it is ipynb. But then for you to be able to use the notebook here, you need to have the extension. And I showed you earlier how you can install the extension. Then you can adjust the interpreter here. Then it will be ready to use the notebook, and you import the code this way. Now, in this case, guys, okay, let me try to do something. Let me try to import also for the other one was for example, multiplication. Multiplication. So for multiplication, again, let me just pass in my arguments. And then, for example, 30, 20, like that. So you'll notice that it is now utilizing. Okay, let me use it in a different cell so that it will not. So let me have it on a different cell. So you notice that I can still run, I can just call those functions that I've just imported. So you'll be importing all these functions here at the top. And then when you call, you just call it like a normally. Once you need to first of all have it imported here at the top, and then I just run it here downwards. So guys, you say that you've understood. Let me hope so. Then so this is what this is a module. A module, we said, it's like a code library. A module is like a code library. And then sometimes you do it, you just want to have like many packages, like assuming that you have different packages. And then, for example, let's say you have another one for doing some statistics or doing other things, like you have many modules that you've created. So to have like to have like to import here the top all of the files, like to say, for example, from a particular file import whatever, then another from another file import whatever. What you do, you can have those modules, and then you redirect them in one file, such that you can manage all the import from one file. So you'll be just using from a particular package, or maybe from a particular directory import, whatever, because you'll have directed all the code in that program. Let me show you how you can create packages. So in this case, we are just want to use let me try to use a class. We talked about classes, right? You remember classes and objects. So let me just create here a class. And I will say that the class, these are object constructor, or maybe blueprint for creating the object. So let me just create here a class, and I could call it, because you can see all of them there. They are what? They're arithmetic stuff. So let me just call it something like a calculator or something like that. Yeah, cal. And you notice that I'm using the Pascal case naming convention on defining the classes. Let me first of all add in the indentation, sure that they are in this class. So for classes, when you go to Python exceptional proposal, they recommend that for creating classes, you use the Pascal case. Remember, even if you use the snake case or the camel case, it is still going to work. But then the recommendation for classes, you use what the Pascal, and then for creating the methods and function, you can use the camel case, and for variables, normal variables, you can just use the snake case or underscore case. So I've done what I've created now my module. Okay, like I've created my class here. Now to utilize this one, I'll need to just import that class calculator. And then now, who can tell me how I can call this, now that we're using the class, who can tell me how I can call that addition function to work? Because at the moment, when I try to run this one, it's not going to work. I'm going to get an error. Anyone who can tell me what should I do first before and how, or maybe how do I call, for example, multiplication or addition or whatever it is? What is the first thing that I need to do before I call this a method? Remember now they are in a class. Yes, I need to first of all instantiate the class. Yeah, I need to create an instance of the class, or maybe to create an object. You need to first of all create the object. Let's call it multiply. Multiply, then I'll be calling this one. And I remember it doesn't have any property, so I'll just be passing there an empty, parenthesis like this. And then now for me to be able to call this method, then I'll have to specify the object where I want to create the object from. So I'll just say, for example, the method, okay, the object that I've created, and then now with the values. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so basically like at work with the classes, in this case, is going to be a bit tricky. Okay, from module import calculator. Like at work with the classes, it's not going to be direct as for the function or any other things. So in this case, guys, you need to have something called a package. You need to have a package for you to be able to use the classes, to be able to use the classes and that make it run well. Now, our packages are similar to the modules, only that it's a collection, it's like a collection of different modules. I know we are going to talk about some machine learning packages, and then sometimes you'll be seeing, for example, you'll be saying, for example, from NumPy, and then from NumPy, whatever, NumPy import import a particular class, and then still from the same number import something else. So like a package is like the collection of, yeah, Seaborn. A good example is a Seaborn library or whatever it is. So you'll be working like with a lot of packages. So those packages like a collection of modules into one file. So first of all, to create a package, you need to first of all have the init function in it. Remember this folder that has come here. It is because we have created what the notebook. So it has come here because we have just created the notebook. So don't mind about this bycache. I think it's used to catch or maybe to put into memory what we are trying to write here on the notebook. So don't mind about this one. But then within this math folder that we've just created here, we need to create here a file called init underscore init, then underscore, and then .py. So when you create this file, even though you don't pass any information, you're telling that this is not a normal folder, this is a package because it's a folder that contains what the modules, and then inside it we have this init. So this init is just to show that this folder is a package. This folder is a package. Like whenever you use this init function. Okay, not function actually. When you were using it on the classes, when we were using it on the classes, we were using the init to create or maybe add properties to a particular class. But then now in this file, when you use it in a file, it is used to show that this folder that we've just created it is a package. And it's a package. And then within that package, we've done what we've created this module, actually not a package. Remember now this for the entire folder that has init file in it is the one that we are calling a package. These are math or whatever. So this is what we call a package. And within this package, we have a module called a module. We have a file called a module.py, which is going to store like our files. And then, so now in the init function, you can specify what? You can specify within this init function, now you can specify the libraries or maybe the modules that you want to include. So in this case, you can say from now, because we're using now a package. Now here you'll have to use to specify the directory because it's a package. You have to say, for example, from dot or maybe a folder name, then module, then we'll say import, for example, in this case, was it calculator? Yeah, calculator. So you can notice now the difference. Now, when you're using it directly without the package, we're just importing the file directly like when we were using the functions. But then now for classes, or maybe when you've created the package, you need to specify what? The directory here. So this dot just to show that you are referring to the current directory. If it was something else, you need to specify that folder or directory. And then from that directory, specify the file. You remember the files, you don't need even to specify the extension, just say the file name, and then you import whatever it is in that file. Now you can as well specify the versions here of your package. For example, you can just use the version of your package. And then in the event, for example, you want to deploy or something like that. So you can just have the version and then you can just specify, for example, 0.10 or whatever naming you wish to give to your packages. So we've done what we've created now the package. So now this folder is going to be treated as a package. Remember, you can have as many. Okay, let's try to create another one. Perhaps what can we call? For example, just text content.py. And then, for example, in this one, I can have, for example, just a normal, okay, let's just have a greeting. Okay, let's just get a function for greetings. Greetings. And then in these greetings, I can pass in what here some arguments, for example, the name, just name. And then here I'll say return. I'll use a formatted string. Then I can say hello. Hello, and then hello, then name, Okay, yeah, hello name, something like that. And then, yeah, so now to utilize this one also on the, like if you want to add in this one to your init, you'll just have to specify the directory. So in this case, it is again from the current directory, from the current directory, a current directory or a current folder. And then this one is text. We are trying to import what? Import, what was it? Greeting, right? Import greeting, okay. Greeting. But then this the reason I like VS Code because it gives me these suggestions. Like when I type, like it speed up my task, my work. Yeah. So this is how you can import like the files within to this init. So anything that will be creating will be directing it to this init so that it can be treated as a package or maybe code within your package. And then now if you want to utilize this code that you've created, you can now outside but there is a good practice to split like for example, if you're using the package, you can just let's try to move it outside so that it can be outside this what this package like this where I want to run my program, this notebook here. So I want to write now my program. So now to utilize this code, or maybe to make it work, I need to do it. I need to now to specify the folder from like the package name. For example, from math. From math, let me see. Yeah. So okay, let me just remove this file. Like in the event, for example, you want to create the package and you want to deploy it so that people, you can see, for example, we have Python, for example, 3.13, 3.12, or those kind of things. So those are version of the packages. But then I think I will talk about it when we'll be discussing about the Git and GitHub, so that I will show you how you can deploy these things or maybe I'll just do it quickly. Okay, I think I'll talk about it because it's the next class. I'll talk about the Git and GitHub, and then I will understand how you can install those version. I updated Zoom. I can't understand this one. Can you clarify Anthony Orange? Hello. Yeah, so don't mind about that. So about the version here, we'll talk about it when we reach there. So now to utilize now this one, I'll just have to specify from the math. On the math, now I'll import what? I'll import, for example, the calculator. Was it? So we created, okay, okay, let me see. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now here I'll just specify for example, from the math, because we have the init, I'll just import what the, within this init, I'll just import what this calculator in this case, here, here. And then once I have it, okay, import. We need to use the import from math, import the calculator as our class here in this case. And then now what we'll need to do is to just call it. Let me see. It's overriding there. Okay, let me see first if it's going to work before I explain. Okay, so just a second, guys. Let me select Okay, let me see. Unknown location. So mhm. Let me first of all try to like import it directly from the math uh, calculator, and then let me just specify from math dot without the package thing. So dot that module. Let me try to use it this way and then see if it's going to work. Mhm. Uh, okay, let me try with the text from the math import. Import. Okay, from the math, import. Okay, like from the math directory, I want to import like let me try this file. Greetings. Let me try greetings. Greetings. Just a second, guys. Let me see where could be the issue, because anytime I see it underlines, there's an error. There's an error. So mhm. um, just a second. Greetings. Greetings. Then let me just try to. It's not accessed. Okay, first of all, let me try to remove this one. Then I'm going to re-add in a few. Let me just see first of all where could be the issue, and then I'm going to check on it in a few. Let me add this code here temporarily, and then I delete this file, and then I try to run just normally, and I see if I'm going to now from the math folder, and then math dot text about greetings, and then let me try to use the greetings. So greeting, and then I'll be passing now my name. Let me first of all see if it can work. It can bring. It's not a package. Like I show it's a package. You need to add in that init. But then when I add in the init, still it's not bringing. Let me see. Let me try and see again. Dot py. Let me just create it here an empty one, and then an empty one. Then I'll say now from the math. Then let me see. About greetings. Mhm. I'm trying to figure out the issue, guys. Give me a second as I try to sort this out. Um, are anyone who has an idea? Oh, okay, without the, okay, yeah, oh, yeah, I get you, I get you. Yeah, import, okay. What have you, can you give me your code? Okay, yeah, without the, so let me say uh, import math, import math. So it's going to be, hey, give me your code and see. Just like that, import math. And then I use, how do I use now the function? Okay, now from the math package, so I'll just specify from math, and then I specify the Mhm. Now the use case, how do I use it now once I import the package? Okay, I think I need to import first of all. Let me just import here. So I'm going to say now here I think here I'll have to use the from keyword, right? I think from the current directory module import. Let me import first of all the calculator. Or is it calculator? Let me see. So that when we use it in math, it will be easier. So I think it was it? I should use the import. I don't know. I'm so import calculator. Then also let me just say from the current directory text dot greetings greetings so that we can utilize it directly. And then here we say that import math dot greeting, right? This is what we meant, right? Greeting. You mean this? Ephantus, like that, or oh, okay, or import greeting. I think that should be for JavaScript. Import, for example, greeting from. I think this way it won't work in Python from math. This way it's not going to work. Okay, give me a second, I think, on something. Mm-hmm. Because it should be from in this case a math. We should have imported the import import, for example, greetings, because it is within the init greeting, or maybe calculator. Or let me add it here within this the same directory. Then I'll try and see. Import calculator. So it is within the same package. Or maybe import greeting. And then now to use it, greetings, then the name. But I don't understand why it is. This is now a challenge to me. So uh, so guys, I think I need to figure out to find the issues to why it is getting these issues. Or maybe perhaps another case could be, for example, the notebook, like or maybe allow me to open it on the Jupyter. Okay, allow me to open it on the Jupyter notebook. Sometimes, allow me to open this code on, sometimes VS Code, it usually misbehaves. Sometimes the issue uh, could be the notebook. So let me just open here on the VS Code. Wonderful. Let's try this approach before we go there. from the package name, and then a dot file, module, import greetings. So actually, I wanted to have it in the init such that it will be a collection. Yeah, but your method will work. Your method here will work. I think this one must. I think this should have worked, but then I just have a feeling that the issue could be within this VS Code. Let's try to use it here. Let's try to use it here. Let me just open here new file on the notebook, and then I'm going to say from math import was it calculator? Let me just copy the name so that, or maybe greeting from math import greeting, because it's already included in the init. It's already included in the init. So I'll just specify greeting. Don't know if it was greeting or greetings. Then let me try to instantiate. So let me just say greetings. Greeting, yeah, greeting. Then let me pass here the name. For example, James. Let me run and see first of all if it's going to work or getting the error. A non-location from math. Okay, let me specify the module dot. It was text, I think. Still, okay, guys. I think on this one I'll do some search. I think I wrote most of the time, like created packages, long ago. I need to check and find out why it's not working, because it should have worked. But then you've understood the concept. Actually, I'll make sure that I teach you on the next class. I'll be talking about Git and GitHub, where I'll be showing how you can deploy the modules on GitHub, and also how you can download and use it somewhere. So I think I'll have found the solution to this. I think just some small issues, then it could work. But at the moment, I'm not sure. Let's try it's not working. When I try all these methods, so I'll need to figure out. But then that's how package are created. Like it's like a collection of modules in one file, so that you can just use it. Like instead of like writing the codes, many lines of code in one file, could have like a many components that has those codes. Then I just use within your code. And now this one takes us to some of the very useful, very powerful packages within Python that I will be talking about in uh, um, machine learning and artificial intelligence, or generally in the data science lifecycle. Remember, machine learning, you can't create any machine learning model without understanding how to deal with data, getting data, doing the data cleaning, all the data wrangling stuff, doing the exploratory data analysis, creating the visuals to see the data distribution if it is a regression task. And then after you've done that, then you'll be able to choose the algorithm to use. Because once you have the data distribution, then you'll be able to see where the outliers are, or maybe where the data is concentrated. Then you'll be able to know what kind of an algorithm to use to create now your models. And then now you will be able to deploy. Remember, artificial intelligence is the way on how machine like simulate humans to do tasks. Like you can train the machine so that things that humans could have done, now the machines are doing. Like um, that way, or maybe a way on how machine now tries to mimic humans to do tasks. We call it artificial intelligence. And then now machine learning, these are techniques that you are going to apply to help, or maybe to make the machines to do those tasks. Like you can consider machine learning is now the engine behind the artificial intelligence. Like that's what is trying to tell the, or maybe to train the machines to do task. And then when it achieves that task, then we are calling it machine, the artificial intelligence. Like we have created now the artificial intelligence, or something that tries to mimic the humans to do those tasks. So you need to understand like the entire data science life cycle. I've listed here some packages that I will be talking about for those who will be taking the program. Now for data science, we'll be learning about a package. We've talked about the some packages. I was trying to show you how to create a package, but then I think I don't know why it wasn't working. I think I have forgotten something. But then now, to create the packages, you'll have to use the init file init, and then I will create the modules, and then perhaps you'll import it there, and then I'll be able to utilize those packages so that in your main file, you don't have like to write those lines of code. You just utilize what is already provided. We demonstrated with the module. Packages tries to work similar to the modules, only that the package is like a collection of different modules, like a many modules, many modules. It's similar to packages, only that it can, okay, it's similar to the modules, only that it can store like a different or a many modules, and then you can direct it somewhere on a particular file, the init file, and then you can be able to use it. And also the good thing of packages, you can be able to deploy it. Like a NumPy is an example of a package. A package is like a code library that contains like a different modules. Like NumPy is a package that contains many modules. Like within NumPy, we can have a package like random. We have many packages within this NumPy. So this NumPy is a package within Python to deal with the numerical part of Python, or maybe to deal with arithmetic stuff, or maybe mathematical things. I will talk about it for those who will be taking the program, because I will need to understand. Remember now, when we'll be training the machines, we'll be dealing with numbers mostly, because machines mostly understand the numbers, even though we'll be doing the classification to reach a point where we'll need to like convert the text type or maybe the categorical type to some sort of numbers, because the machines mostly understand the numbers when you're training them. So to deal with those kind of stuff, then NumPy is going to be very key in that case. And then now for data manipulation, and okay, for data manipulation, we'll be using pandas, which is a very powerful tool to read files, to manipulate files, and also to do some, some analysis of the data. Then also we'll have the sklearn. Before that, I will talk about also matplotlib and seaborn libraries or packages. So those are the tools that we'll be using to visualize or maybe to see the data distribution. We'll also talk about the plotly. It's also a very powerful tool for creating the interactive visuals. Because with this visual now, you're able to do it, you're able to know what kind of an algorithm you're going to use depending on the data distribution. Remember, you're training the machines based on the data. You're training the machines. Like a good example is like a good example, yeah. A good example is like a good example is like what? For example, these powerful models like ChatGPT or any other generative models, like they were trained based on the data input from that we were using on Google. So they downloaded all those data, and then they were training the models based on how the human conversation work, or maybe if it's coding, they see how the codings has been working based on the data from the platform like Stack Overflow and all that, and then they are going to train these models so that it can be able now to simulate or maybe mimic the humans to do those kind of things. Like it's trying to imitate the humans. So so basically now matplotlib and seaborn, those are for visualization to know what kind of an algorithm to use. For example, if it is a regression task or maybe in the on the supervised learning, and then for example, regression or classification task, or maybe other kind of machine learning like reinforcement or all those kind of stuff. And then we also have the scikit-learn. So this one, it has like all the machine learning, most of the machine learning packages, most of the machine learning packages, like within this scikit-learn is a package, like it's a package, but then within it we have like many modules, which in those modules we have things like classes that stores, for example, algorithm that we could use. For example, the regression task will have things like
Hello, Mr. Nehemiah, are you there?
Yes. Are you able to hear me? I think I've been talking. Are you guys able to hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now. It's my network.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so I was just listing some packages that I will be learning. And also with these packages, perhaps you could try to self-teach yourself, provided you know these are roadmap. So I said that the scikit-learn is a package, and you now know what a package is. By the way, what is a package, guys? If you've been following. What is a package, guys? Or maybe what is a module? You can either say, for example, the module, or maybe a package. You can say either of those. A collection of modules. Yeah. So someone says that yeah, a collection of modules package. Yeah, very true. Like a different modules redirected to one. Yeah. So a package is like a collection of like all of this stuff, like they are code, like a module is like a code library. And then now when you create several, you know, you want to group like several. For example, we know that we said something like pandas, okay, or maybe NumPy is to deal with what? The numerical part of Python. So it is strictly for handling the numerical computing in Python. So if it's numerical, you want also to split like into subcategory. For example, to the ones that are deals with the generating the random numbers, it will create another file. Maybe, but then remember, even though it's a package, you need to like group it, related things to it. Related things to it. For example, pandas, this one is strictly for handling the, this package is for handling the data manipulation, reading the files. So you'll make sure that this package, all the modules that includes, or maybe that are within that package, they are for handling data, or maybe manipulating data. So a package is like a collection of modules that are grouped together, created with an init function. I don't know why, guys. I think uh, I'll have to revise. I'll have to revise. I don't know why the init it wasn't working well, like that part of the package. But I'll make sure that on the next class, I will show you, because I've been using it for quite some time. I've been teaching other people. So I'll make sure that I find a way now I can demonstrate it well, perhaps on the next class. But then a package is like a combination of different modules, but then you can like group them in an init file, like you can import them in an init file. So that init file is going to be like one file that is going to store all the classes, modules, okay, like a classes or a function from different modules, but then it's directed in one centralized file, such that you can use all this code from like from one source, like just a folder that has init file in it, and then with different packages, okay, different modules, and then module, just one single file that connects the code library. And also you'll also make sure that that file is strictly related to the content that like I don't like I try to mix things. For example, you saw me creating a file called math utils, because I wanted that file to only hold the math-related calculations. And then another file, I called it text. Like just for example, to handle the text kind of stuff, the text stuff. So you want to make sure that these modules, they are specifically for a particular task, so that you can manage well. You can manage your code library well. Yeah, so those are packages and the modules. Now pandas, NumPy, Seaborn, and okay, Matplotlib, Seaborn. These are packages. Under it we have the modules. Like from NumPy we have a random module, and many other packages as well. So in this case for machine learning, we have the scikit is a package, but then within this scikit-learn we have the modules for handling the regression task, for classification task, or maybe different type of stuff. I see someone has shared something here in the chat from package name, module, about a class name. Then, so basically we try this way. we tried this way, but then it failed. It failed. It failed, so I don't understand what was the problem. But then I think within the next class, I'll have figured out the issue that was causing. Because actually we demonstrated this one, I believe for those who are following, we are trying to specify, for example, package name, then the module, importing the class name or maybe a function or whatever it is. And then we are trying to instantiate and then I'll be able to call it. But then it wasn't working. So I'll need to figure out the issue that was causing before the next class. But then you've understood, I believe you have now a clue on what a package is and what a module is. And then, so basically in the scikit-learn, we have the, packages, okay, the modules as well for regression task, like, for regression task, and then also for a classification task, and also for metrics, for providing the metrics for testing the model, okay, the model performance and all those kind of stuff. Then we talked about the matplotlib for data visualization. And then also the Seaborn library, this also for this like an advanced, like it's built on top of a matplotlib, but then this one is for advanced a data visualization, for data visualization, especially for statistical graphics. This one is very, very powerful. Seaborn library, like it's just an extension to this matplotlib, like it was built on top of a matplotlib. Like the same way you can say, for example, a TypeScript was built on top of JavaScript, like just like an extension. It's not like it's not like what? It's not like a package. Okay, it's not like a module, but then it's just some. You can call it like a modified matplotlib. Like it's a different package, but then it's an advanced, strictly for handling the matplotlib. It is built on top of this matplotlib. It's also a package. And then for the planning, we have packages like the TensorFlow, PyTorch, and many others. And then, okay, for handling the scientific part of Python, then SciPy is also the best tool. We'll talk about these tools as well. And then, so these are additional tools that you could learn for machine learning and artificial intelligence packages. Like scikit-learn for general machine learning stuff, then TensorFlow for deep learning, and then PyTorch for research oriented, and many other things here, guys. So I'll share with you the this notebook so that you can have it as your okay, as your roadmap or maybe something to reference. But then in a nutshell, guys, if you want to understand, same way as I told you, for example, if you want to understand a particular programming language, you need to understand what things like variables, there are structures, functions. If it's an object-oriented programming, you need to understand the classes and objects, how they are created, and also understand the modules. We've talked about it just now, and the packages. Okay, the modules. And then once you've understood that, then you're able to like you now know that programming language. Like once you know those things, then you'll know you are now able to know, or maybe you are good with that programming. Remember, each programming language is, because these languages, they are built like it has a lot of community support, and some programming language like exist like 50 years, like each year they usually like adding the, we have some things like we saw those versions, like when they add in something new, like they will release it in a different version. So you notice that like there are very, very many versions, and within those things, like there are many things within it. So if you say like I want to learn everything within a programming language, then that's not going to be effective. So the thing is just to understand the roadmap, and then as you'll be developing or maybe creating projects with that tool or maybe that programming language, you will be able to understand other things as you go on, like other function or methods that I could use to support you as you progress. So in the long run, you'll find out that you are learning new things as you progress. But then if you say that you just want to learn like everything within a programming language, then you'll not be a programmer. Like I'll say that, but then that's just my way on how I usually learn new technologies. But then now on the machine learning and artificial intelligence, let me give you now also the roadmap. Because first of all, you understand that machines, you are training based on the data. You are training the machines based on the data. For example, let's take an example. Let's say you have a small kid who doesn't know anything. Then you want to train this baby to know that this is a cat. So first of all, you tell the baby that if you see something that has legs, that has, for example, the tail, and also it has the head, and it's small. This is what these are cuts. So you're using the existing features. You're using, for example, the forelegs, the body, the tail, the head, the eyes, and nose, and then these are cut. So now, in future, now when the baby sees something similar that has the tail, the body, the head, the legs, and all that. So they'll be able to the baby will be able to understand that this is a cat. But then perhaps sometimes it will reach a point that I will have something similar, and that has those legs, that has same body, tail, and the head. But then perhaps it is a cheetah. So you need to train the baby, for example, to understand like these different cases, such that they'll be able to distinguish like different animals. So you'll be able to train now the baby with like a lot of images. For example, to distinguish from a dog to a cat, like you'll need to also describe the features for a dog different from a cat. For example, if you also want to help the baby know the cow and all those kind of things, like you'll say that if you want like the baby to know or how to distinguish these animals, then like they will need like a lot of inputs like this information, like the baby will need like a lot of information, so that next time the baby will not say that the elephant is a cat, because like you've exposed the baby to more information. So similar to machines, like you'll be using now the data. These are the information that have been gathered. You've been gathered. So now you're training the machines based on the data, and then now based on the data, so that in future the machine now will be able to predict based on the information that you feed the machines with. So you'll understand that for you to be a machine learning engineer or maybe an artificial intelligence um, uh, person, then you will need to understand how to work with data. First of all, you need to understand how to collect data, and then do the data cleaning to remove the nulls and all that, and then format the data well to align with the project that you're trying to work on. For example, if it is a regression task or a classification task for supervised learning, you'll be able to know that. And then once you've done the data formatting, then you can do also the exploratory data analysis, or maybe the analysis generally. And then once you have it, then you will need to do some visual. Sometimes the visual will help you understand the kind of data distribution, because sometimes there could be some outliers somewhere, or maybe the data is not that linearly distributed or something like that. So you'll be able to know what kind of an algorithm to use that is going to utilize this data, so that the machine will not, or maybe the model will not have the outliers. And then later, once you've settled on a particular algorithm, then you'll be able to do it. You'll be able now to create now the artificial intelligence, okay, the machine learning model. And then once you've created the machine learning model, then you could choose, for example, to deploy it. I know this program is for developers, so you know how you can, for example, at the end of the program, for those who will be taking, we'll have a session where we'll be talking about we'll be using a Django or Flask. These are very powerful tool for, these are Python packages for creating powerful server-side applications. So we'll be talking about Django. So we'll be creating now, we'll be serializing our model, and then we'll be deserializing so that we can expose it on the front end, so that the people can interact now with the model on a graphical user interface. So we'll have that section. So for you to be a full stack engineer, machine learning engineer, you'll notice that there are several things that you need to to learn, including from the data collection, data analysis, also creating the models, deploying the models, optimizing the model, and all that, like at that life cycle. So guys, there's a lot that we are going to learn. But then in a nutshell, these are the useful packages that I will be talking about, like the main packages that will be utilized. Like these are the most popular, although we have others, but then these are the most popular that I will be using on this program for those who will be taking now the program. So those are the tools that we'll be using. So guys, basically today I wanted to talk about the packages. Let me know guys if you've understood. Although to create the package, it was an issue. To create the package, okay, like the way Sandra is saying, like for example, we want to use directly as a module. You know, as a module, you can just import it directly from the file. The same way we were importing previously. Directly. So this one is like you're trying to use like a module directly. But then we were trying to create a package with the init function such that we can direct like all the modules in one file so that from that package we'll just import in the files. So that's something that it brought an issue. But then within the next class, we'll have figured out how we can be able to create packages well and also deploy, because it will be Git and GitHub, because I will have that part of where we discuss the Git commands, how to add in to track the files, how to commit the files, how to do the Git log, and create branches, how to deploy, how to push on GitHub, how to merge, how to create issues, and many more. So we'll talk about that. So in the process, you'll understand how to create those packages. So within that time, I'll have known the issue that we were getting on the packages, and then it will be fine. Guys, let me know if you've understood the modules and packages. Like the idea, although the code it failed, but then have you understood the what the modules and packages work, or maybe you have a question? Let me know, guys. The response basically that was it. So let me just know in case you have a question or yeah, anything.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nehemiah. So, guys, please, if you have a question, let's actually like raise our hand or say we have a question in the comment section so that I'll call on you so that you can unmute your mic to ask. Please don't be shy. Let's ask all the questions that we can ask now. Because after today, I think the last class will be holding on Monday. And on Tuesday will be our general questions and answers where you get to ask anything, especially maybe going through our assignments again, Mr. Nehemiah trying to solve the assignments and all of that. So that's what we'll be doing on Tuesday, which is the final day of class. We are sorry that this section had to extend till Tuesday. They are due to some circumstances, but I know that we all are learning. So no detergent. So yeah. So if you have any question, can you let me know in the comment section? If you don't have any question, just tell me how the class has been so that I would know. Yeah, for the 15 of us on the call, just tell me how the class has been so that I'll know that yeah, we truly understand and we don't have any question. Nobody is saying anything. Okay. I want to understand that all of us basically understand the class. Thank you guys for being here again today. If you don't, how long does it take for someone to be comfortable with AI ML tags? Mr. Nehemiah, there is a question in the comment section. You can unmute your mic and answer that. It said, how long does it take for someone to be comfortable with AI ML tasks?
All right, thank you so much. Okay, how long does it take for someone to be comfortable with AI and machine learning task? Now, it depends now with the skill. For example, if you are good now with Python, you understand how to work with Python, you've understood like everything well, and then also you've understood how to work with these packages like pandas, especially pandas, NumPy, and also um, okay, NumPy, pandas, and then also you know how to do the data visualization. Then you can that's when now, for example, you can learn packages like for machine learning packages. So these things could vary because, for example, someone like me, or maybe someone who has some prior knowledge on some basic things, you notice that like at the speed to learn these things, it will vary. So I think it depends, but then approximately for someone who has understood, for example, Python well, very well. I think within 4 months, they're able to create machine learning tasks. They're able to create the machine learning modules. Like those for those who are really serious, or maybe those who have like a prior knowledge on the Python, because these things are built from Python, like they are Python packages. So once you've mastered Python well, and then for those core packages for data science like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and also SciPy sometimes. And then you are good. And also some basics of mathematics, including the algebra and all those kind of stuff. And then you are good. So it could vary depending on how you understand things. But then approximately for me, I could say between 4 6 months, and then you're able to build like your machine learning models. Although as you progress, you'll be able to understand more and build more powerful. But then at between 4 to 6 months, for those who are really into it, and they can be able to build machine learning models. So the duration to take, and that it takes like it depends also on someone's like the ability to understand things. But then based on how I've been teaching people, I think for between 4 to 6 months, people are able to create those machine learning models. Then someone else here, okay, I don't know if you have answered you if Fandance before I go to Femi. All right, great. So I have been struggling to follow on the Python class test and spending so much time to understand the code. Can I still be able to follow up on the work easily on the, okay, let me see, I've been struggling to follow up on the Python classes and spending so much time to understand the codes. Can I still be able to follow up on the work easily? I don't know if, okay, can Aisha try to elaborate this to expand? I don't know if I've gotten it well. But at the last part, can I still be able to follow up on work easily on the AI ML task? I think I haven't gotten this part well.
Okay, I assume he's talking about the assignments, right? So he said he has been struggling to follow up. Okay, that's the assignment, right, Femi? That he's spending so much time to understand the codes. Can he still be able to follow up on work easily on the AI ML task? Are you talking at, yes, even the classes? So I don't know, Mr. Nehemiah. I mean, we provided the videos, but if that is not enough, Mr. Nehemiah, I don't know if you could give us like a list of resources that can help them. You
Mm-hmm.
know how people starting what's it called, web development can go to what's it
Mm-hmm.
called, W3 school to learn and have some other resources, maybe like MDN web docs to learn. Do you get? So maybe you could
Yeah.
actually give us like some resources like that they can actually check out to help them understand better, even if they watch the videos and they don't get it.
Oh,
Is
sure,
that,
sure.
would
In
that
fact,
work for me?
yeah, in fact, what I'll do, I'll just create that the full roadmap from understanding Python to the machine learning packages. Like I'll create that itinerary that you need to follow for to be a full stack or maybe to be a machine learning or artificial intelligence developer. So I think at the end of the program, by Tuesday, I'll have created that list, or maybe the itinerary on what you should do to be able to master, or maybe be good at machine learning and artificial intelligence. So basically, I'll create the something like a roadmap, or something like that, including from understanding the Python to the machine learning packages until to the model deployment. So I'll have something like that. Then I'll share. I think before the programs end, or maybe this onboarding ends, I'll be able uh, be able to create something like that. Yeah, so that you can assist people to follow along in even if you're not in the in the program, you'll be able to know what to learn in case you want to do to self-taught yourself, or maybe to do some research by yourself. So I'll have that roadmap, I think, so that it can help people. So yes, I'll create Aisha. I'll create that roadmap, or maybe some other resources as well, including some PDFs, the books, and all that, so that you can always follow along to be able to master these things. So I'll share with you the books in form of PDFs, and also some roadmaps that you need to follow, and many other additional resources by the end of the program. Okay, this onboarding.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think that would really help to really help everyone. So Femi, you said if we want to get help or mentorship or register for one dev classes on AI ML classes, how much is it? For now, the prices are not out, but I can tell you that they are affordable. Just kind of prepare your mind, right? The classes are affordable. We would announce in the community when it is that time for registered classes, but we'll definitely be having a track on AIML for continued mentorship, so that you have like 4 5 months hands-on training. This one is just 10 days, and I can tell that you've learned a lot, right? So that one would be 4 5 months training, where you have like hands-on learning, just like this one, right? Yeah, but when the prices are out, I will announce in the community so that you can have access to it. Well, it will soon be out, right? It's a management thing. It's not like I'm the one um making this decision. So once the decision has been made and the prices is out, I will announce in the community. Yeah, I hope that answers your questions, Femi. As we wait for AU next president. Let's call it a wrap as we wait for AU next president. I don't understand that orange. I don't get. I don't. AU next president. Okay. Um. Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining again today. So, and we'll be having another class on Monday, the same time, the same venue. Make sure that you guys join in. I know because it's the weekend, not so many people joined in. Yeah, I'll see you guys again on Monday. Do have a wonderful rest of the day. But if you have any other question, feel free to ask in the community as usual, and you get your answers to it. Also, I would also look for resources and also share in the community that can help you guys. Pending when Mr. Nehemiah also share that resources. I'll see you guys in the communities. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye, everyone.